Hello students, once again I welcome you all in this new video for class 10th and in the previous video we have completed the explanation part of the chapter life processes and many of you may be thinking that we will start the new chapter how do organisms reproduce, but as I told you earlier, for this session this year only the first chapter life processes is the only chapter which can be asked in your first periodic test, and as I told you earlier also that very soon you are going to face your periodic test first. So in spite of moving ahead to the new chapter how do organisms reproduce, I was just thinking to recall all the things in this chapter life processes, a small revision, a recap, so that you can score maximum marks in your first periodic test. And as now you are observing also that only 4 chapters are the part in your biology section, so at least 9 or 10 marks questions will be asked in the main board examination from this chapter itself, life processes. So if you are going to work hard and prepare all the topics very clearly, you are going to score good marks in your coming board examination. So let's start the revision of this chapter. The first question in this chapter that is asked in the examination is itself the definition of this word life processes. Many of the time it is asked in the board examination, what do you mean by life processes or what are life processes? So as you all are aware about now, that all the living beings which are surviving on the earth, they are performing some processes inside their body which is going to provide them help or essential for their survival of individual. So processes which are essential for survival of an individual organism. Or in another word we can also say this, that processes without which not a single individual can survive, that processes are known as what? Life processes. Means or without which an individual cannot survive on earth. So such type of processes are known as what? Life processes. And when we call about the examples, so you know processes like nutrition, then respiration, then we talk about the transportation process, and finally excretion process. So these processes are considered as life processes for what? For a single individual organism. Remember always that these processes are what? Survival of an individual organism. So very specific main point is here that reproduction is not considered as a life process. Reproduction is not considered as a life process, but it is essential for a specific species. Means without reproduction an individual organism can survive and can live throughout their lifespan, But when we talk about the species only, for the survival of species on the earth, reproduction is very important, and without this process, not a single species can survive. But when we talk about an individual organism survival, then these processes, nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion are very important. And when we talk about what are the common things, means what is the common thing all of these processes, then you will come to know that in all these processes movement occur at molecular level. Means whenever we are going to talk about the nutrition process, you are having an idea now that during the nutrition, after digestion, the substances, the nutrients are going to absorb in the body and they are going to transport in each and every part. So the movement will occur of nutrients at molecular level, which we cannot see from the outside of the organisms. When we talk about the respiration, you know, the exchange of gases will take place in each and every cell in the multicellular, and it's also not visible from the outside whether the exchange of the gases are occurring in the body or not. But you know, the exchange of gases are occurring at the molecular level. The same thing will happen in the transportation and excretion also, that each and every cell is going to release the waste products which are formed during the metabolic activities, and that must be released outside the body. So all these processes are showing what? Some kind of movement of substances, and this movement is going to occur at molecular level. So all the life processes are what? Common. They are having some movement which are occurring at the molecular level, and that's why there is a main point also. Viruses are considered as connecting link between living and non-living. Because for living there must be movement at molecular level, and when we consider about the viruses, they never show any kind of molecular movement when they are present outside in the environment. But as soon as they are going to invade a living cell, immediately they are going to show movement at molecular level, and that's why there is a controversy that viruses are whether living or non-living. So this is what all about the life processes. Now we will consider the first topic, that is what? Nutrition, the first life process. So you all are having an idea about the nutrition process, that it is what? A complex process. Nutrition is a complex process where it is taking inside the food is going to taking in the food from surrounding and again utilizing it. So nutrition is not only a process of digestion of food, as you are aware about all the processes, all the steps involved during this process, nutrition, that from taking food inside the body, because when we talk about the other living beings other than green plants which are autotrophs, they all are going to take the food which is going to provide them energy, and this food they are obtaining from the surrounding. So first they are going to take in food, and then after they are going to utilize it for their growth and all the activities which are performed by them. So why this nutrition is considered as a complex process? Because in nutrition various small processes are involved, and which are what? Ingestion, then digestion, absorption assimilation and egestion. So since these small processes are involved in this nutrition process, so nutrition is considered as very complex process, and all these steps are only what they are the means these steps will be involved only in a type of nutrition that is known as holozoic nutrition. So now we will discuss about the types of nutrition. When we consider about the types, you are having an idea that nutrition may be of two types. The first one is known as what? Autotrophic, and the second one is known as what? Heterotrophic. So autotrophic means what? It is made up of two words, auto plus troph, where auto means self and troph means nutrition. And this heterotrophic is also made up of two words, hetero plus troph, where hetero means what? Other, and troph means again nutrition. So autotrophic is a mode of nutrition where individuals are capable to synthesize their food inside their body and they can provide their nutrition by themselves only. They are not dependent on any other organisms in their surrounding, and that's why such type of nutrition is known as what? Autotrophic mode of nutrition. And this heterotrophic mode of nutrition means individuals are not capable to provide nutrition by their own, so they are going to depend on some other organisms in their surrounding to get the nourishment, and that's why this type of mode is known as what? Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So now we will discuss about more autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition in detail here. So as we have discussed here that autotrophic is what? It is a mode of nutrition where organisms are able to provide them nutrition by themselves only. So this nutrition can be also categorized in two categories. The first one is what? Photosynthetic, and the other one is what? Chemoautotroph. So the living being, the organisms which are going to represent such type of mode of nutrition, they are known as autotrophs, and these autotrophs may be of two types, photosynthetic or chemoautotroph. So what do we mean by photosynthetic? Photo means what? Light, and synthesize means what? To put together or to make something. So such type of organisms are having what? Chlorophyll in themselves, and with the help of this chlorophyll they are able to trap the solar energy, sunlight, and with the help of sunlight they are going to prepare what? Their own food, and that's why they are capable to provide their nutrition by themselves. And the example of such type of organisms are what? Examples are green plants as well as blue green algae. So photosynthetic means the organisms which are having chlorophyll in themselves, and that's why they are able to capture or trap the energy from the sunlight, and that's why they are going to prepare their own food by themselves and providing their nutrition. So examples are what? All the green plants and blue green algae. When we talk about the chemoautotroph, chemo means what? Chemical substances, means from the chemical substances they are not going to use the sunlight, as the organisms like green plants they are going to use sunlight for the nutrition. And auto means what? Self. Troph means again nutrition. So these are what? Organisms like nitrogen fixing bacteria, and some of them are what? Sulfur fixing bacteria. So these are going to use these chemical substances, means these inorganic substances, to synthesize their food, to make their food, and that's why they are considered as what? Chemoautotroph. When we talk about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, heterotrophic mode of nutrition again can be categorized in three categories. Which are what? Saprophytic, means the organisms which are going to derive the food from the rotten materials. Then parasitic, and finally the mode of nutrition that we humans are also showing such type of nutrition, that is what? Holozoic. So heterotrophic means these organisms are not capable to synthesize their food, and that's why for their nutrition they are going to dependent on the other substances present in their surrounding. So when we talk about saprophytic, sapro means what? Rotten. It means what? These organisms are going to absorb the nutrition from the dead and decaying matter, and that's why they are known as what? Saprophytes or saprotrophs, and such type of mode of nutrition is known as what? Saprophytic. So first of all, they are going to what? They are going to release the digestive enzymes on the decaying materials, and finally they are going to absorb the nutrients from them. So such type of nutrition is known as saprophytic, and you know the examples like mushroom and all these things, molds, which are going to take the nutrition from the dead and decaying matter or rotten substances. When we talk about the parasitic, para means what? Other. So such type of organisms are going to live inside or on the body of other organisms, and they are going to derive their nutrition from their body. So such type of nutrition is known as what? Parasitic. And finally, when we talk about the holozoic nutrition is again classified in few categories, like you know about the herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, and insectivores. So holozoic nutrition can be classified in herbivores. Herb means what? Plants, and vores means what? Eaters. So plant eaters are known as what? Herbivores. You are having an idea from the previous classes, from the lower standard also. Carnivores means carne means what? Flesh. Vores means again eaters. So flesh eating animals are known as what? Organisms are known as what? Carnivores. Omnivores means, omni means both. So the organisms which can eat plants as well as flesh of the other animals, they are known as what? Omnivores. When we talk about the scavengers, the organisms which are going to eat the dead bodies of the other organisms like vulture you have seen, or eagle. So such type of organisms are known as scavengers. And when we talk about the insectivores, you have seen the frogs and toads and lizards, and insectivores plants also, which are going to trap insect or kill insect or eat insect for their nutrition. So such type of nutrition is known as what? Insectivores. But in our chapter we are going to read only these two type of nutrition. The first one is what? Photosynthetic, and the second one is what? Holozoic. And basically in holozoic nutrition we are going to see holozoic nutrition in amoeba and in humans. So this we have to read only, holozoic nutrition in amoeba and humans, and this photosynthetic nutrition means mode of nutrition in plants, especially in green plants, how they are going to conduct this process of photosynthesis. So we will discuss about these two processes in the next video. So Till then, take care of yourself, be safe and keep studying.